glad for each one of you that are here this morning. We are blessed this morning to have Calvary's Mercy with us to share in song, and we'll invite them up here shortly. Before we do that, I'd like to start out with one song, just inviting the Holy Spirit to be here this morning as they minister to us. If you take your hymnal to turn to number 155. Come, Gracious Spirit, Heavenly Dove, 155. You all would stand with me. We want to sing this together. Come, Gracious Spirit, Heavenly Dove, with light and comfort from above. Be thou our guardian, thou our guide, o'er every thought and step reside, o'er every thought and step reside. The light of truth to us display, and make us know and choose thy way. Plant holy fear in every heart, that we from God may ne'er depart, that we from God may ne'er depart. Lead us to holiness, a road which we must take to dwell with God. Lead us to Christ, the living way, nor let us from his pasture stray, nor let us from his pasture stray. Lead us to God, our final rest, to be with him forever blessed. Lead us to heaven's bliss to share, fullness of joy forever there, fullness of joy forever there. You may be seated. This time I'd like to welcome Calvary's Mercy come to the stage. Would you all make them welcome as they come up?
Egypt was once my home, I was a slave, helpless in sin did roam, love light did crave, but when I looked up to heaven's dome, Christ came to save. I'm living in Canaan now.
Yes, I'm living on Canaan's side, Egypt behind, crossed over Jordan wide, gladness to find.
My soul is satisfied, no longer I am blind, living with Jesus
Up in Canaan right now.
Well, Satan may have you bound with fear too strong. Just look up to higher grounds, will not be long till Christ the Savior your soul is found. You'll sing this song, I'm living in Canaan now.
I'm living on Canaan's side,
Egypt
behind, crossed over Jordan wide,
gladness to find. My soul is satisfied, no longer I am blind, living with Jesus up in Canaan right
Yes,
now.
I'm living on Canaan's side,
Egypt behind,
crossed over Jordan wide,
gladness to find. My soul is satisfied, my soul satisfied. Living with Jesus up in Canaan right. Well, good morning to you, church. It is a pleasure for us to be here. And once again, how many were with us last night? Okay, sorry you're having to hear us again and endure that pain. But last night we made comment about the singing. We were telling Pastor and Brad that we kind of stalked you before we came here on YouTube and watching some of your videos. And the singing that comes from this group is unbelievable. I mean, we felt like maybe we ought to take up an offering for you, and we just go sit and let you all sing, because it was such a blessing. I will tell you this. I said this last night. I sat at my house in Northern Virginia, watching the videos, listening to the pastor speak, and hearing you sing. And I wanted to tell you that from the old guy from Virginia, you blessed my heart on more than one occasion in more than one video, just listening to your singing. So from us to you, thank you for your blessings to us. Let me do real quick before we continue. How many of you know this guy over here? Maybe I should say, okay, so maybe I should ask it this way. How many of you are not related to this guy? Oh, wow. Okay. Sam Beachy's not so little boy. Jeff and I have been friends for 25, 26 years now. One of the finest guys I think you ever meet. You're going to hear him a few times this morning, but give Jeff a hand as he sings a baritone. This is Jeff Beachy. Boy over here on the piano is probably one of our biggest blessings, just because of the anointing that we feel like he possesses in playing the keys for us. A lot of times when we have rehearsal, we end up with trying to learn new stuff and practice, but Al will start just tickling the ivories, and we just end up kind of spend time in the presence of the Lord. Instead of trying to do anything, we just spend time in the Lord's presence while Al just tickles the piano. So Brother Al Deal on the keyboard. Singing the ladies' part. This guy right here is 87 years old. Ooh. Yeah, you hear that? You hear that? You hear that? Whoa. That's what we love when we say, he's 87 years old, and people go, ooh. But fine. You've been singing gospel music, frankly, 60 plus years. So as long as I've been alive, Randy's been singing gospel music, sang with the Virginians, if any of you have ever saw them as they've traveled, and our brother Randy Joyce on the tenor part.
Then the man who stands in the middle, singing lead, manages this bunch. He's got his hands full, let me tell you. And
that one alone.
Hey, wait a minute.
prayer warrior extraordinaire. I can tell you some stories about this man right here that will, well, just come see me afterwards. I'll tell you, it'll thrill your soul. Brother Doyle Reagan singing lead today.
I do want to tell you that as we progress through the service, that if you know the songs we sing, please sing them with us. We had such a wonderful time last evening with folks joining in with us on some of the old hymns, some of the old standards. So if you want to sing with us, we would absolutely love that. So please join in. There is coming a day when no heartache shall come, no more clouds in the sky, no more tears to dim the eye. All is peace forevermore on that happy golden shore. What a day, glorious day that will be. And what a day that will be Jesus I shall see. When I look upon his face, the one who saved me by his grace, when he leads me by the hand and leads me through the promised land. What a day, glorious day that will be. There'll be no sorrow there, no burdens to bear. There's no sickness, there's no pain, there's no parting over there. And forever I will be with the one who died just for me. What a day, glorious day that will be. What a day that will be, when my Jesus I shall see. When I look upon his face, the one who saved me by his grace, when he takes me by the hand and leads me through the promised land. What a day, glorious day that will be. What a day, glorious day that
All right.
I'm satisfied with just a cottage below, a little silver and a little gold. But in that city where the ransom will shine, I want a gold one that's silver lined. I've got a mansion just over the hilltop in that bright land where we'll never grow. And someday yonder we'll never more wander, but walk on streets that are purest gold. Now don't think me poor or deserted or lonely. I'm not discouraged, I'm heaven bound. I'm but a pilgrim in search of that city. I want a mansion, a harp and a crown. I got a mansion just over the hilltop in that bright land where we'll never grow. And someday yonder we'll never more wander, but walk on streets that are pure as gold. And I've got a mansion just over the hilltop in that bright land where we'll never grow. And someday yonder we'll never more wander, but walk on streets that are pure as gold. We'll walk on streets that are pure as gold.
That'll do.
So let me say this before we go any further. If you see me dabbing, sweat a lot. I may end up having to shed this jacket, and I hope you don't mind if I do. A few years ago, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease at about, 56, 57 years of age. And for whatever reason, when I sing and sing hard, the tremor increases, the sweat pours, and I'm just a hot mess. I just give it to you that way. Okay, Parkinson's is not a big deal. It is what it is. I tell people that shake well before using just has a whole new meaning to me now. Luckily for me, it's just on one side of my body, and when I retire for good, I'm gonna make a fantastic Walmart greeter. I can promise you that. So, if I have to shed the jacket, I'll apologize to you in advance. And if I have to take it off because I get a little overheated, and that's not pretty when that happens, and I don't want you to have to witness that or write a statement to the police. Okay, so we're gonna do an old one, an old hymn. We love the old hymns. Our next album that we intend to do is going to be we're going to title it Where It All Started, because that's where we got started, is on the old hymns. My daddy was a pastor. Jeff grew up in church around here. These boys have been in church all their lives, and the hymns are some of the most special parts of our heritage as Christian men and our Christian families, because that's where it all started. We're going to sing Are You Washed in the Blood? If you know it, please join in with us. Have you been to Jesus for the cleansing power? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Are you fully trusting in His grace this hour? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Are you washed in the blood, in the soul cleansing blood of the Lamb? Are your garments spotless? Are they white as snow? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Lay aside your garments that are stained with sin and be washed in the blood of the Lamb. There's a fountain flowing for the soul unclean. Oh, be washed in the blood of the Lamb. Are you washed in the blood, in the soul cleansing blood of the Lamb? Are your garments spotless? Are they white as snow? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Are your garments spotless? Are they white as snow? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Whew.
Let's see. What we got here next on the list? Oh, I know you know the next one. Since Jesus came into my heart. How many folks can say they're glad? Since Jesus, woo, look at that. Talk to me. Love it. Thank you, Lord. All right, let's go out. Wonderful change in my life has been wrought since Jesus came into my heart. I've light in my soul for which long I had sought since Jesus came into my heart. Since Jesus came into my heart. Since Jesus came into my heart. Floods of joy on my soul like the sea billows roll. Since Jesus came into my heart. I've ceased from my wanderings and going astray since Jesus came into my heart. And I'm happy, so happy as onward I go since Jesus came into my heart. Since Jesus came into my heart. Since Jesus came into my heart. Floods of joy o'er my soul like the sea billows roll. Since Jesus came into my heart. How many of you know that?
How many know that song?
I see him pounding.
Okay, now we're going to quit singing and let you guys do it. Okay? Hit it again. So we're since Jesus came into since Jesus came into my soul like the sea billows roll. Since Jesus came into
Do it again. Do it again.
Love it. Love the dude in the back hitting the high note, too. We're going to do one. How many of you have ever followed, everybody knows Bill Gaither. How many of you have ever followed the Gaithers and some of the music that they've done over the years in the Southern gospel music industry? One of the songs that that I recall many years ago before they ever really did it is one that ministers to me, frankly, because of all the years of my life of growing up as a pastor's son. I went in the Marine Corps in 1979. I spent 21 years in the Marine Corps, and when I first joined the service, I kind of went on my own little path because, and a lot of people won't admit this, but I will, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but I had church to there when I graduated high school. And that's just blunt honesty with you, because everything was about church. I was in church, cleaning the church. I was mowing the church yard. I polished the church pews. I changed the light bulbs in the church. And church. And when I went in the Marine Corps, I kind of took off down my own little path. But I would tell you that in any time I found myself doing something that was not of God and was not in the center of God's perfect will for my life, I never, ever forgot those foundations and what Mount Calvary meant to me. And I want you to listen to this song. You may not know it, but I want you to listen to this and think about this of your own life, that I believe in a hill called Mount Calvary. This life with its great mysteries surely someday will come to an end. Oh, but faith will conquer the darkness and death, and will lead me at last to my that the Christ who was slain on the cross has the power to change lives today. For He changed me completely, and a new life is mine. That is why by the cross I stay, and I believe in a hill called Mount Calvary, and I believe whatever the cost, and when time has surrendered and earth is no more, still cling to the old rugged cross. And when time has surrendered and earth is no more, I'll still cling to the old rugged cross. We're gonna let Al play one for you. I said it a little earlier, alluded to it, but we appreciate this guy more than he recognizes. He keeps us on track. He's so talented and such a pure, dedicated Christian man of God that he's such a blessing to our group. We want you to enjoy one that Brother Al has for you this morning. Al, let's do it.
I just want you folks to know something. I could do that if I wanted to. I just don't want to.
I'll share something with you that he handed me last night during service. I have to be back to the home by 9:30. He don't get out much. His goal is to be one of those old people that we're afraid to take out in public. And he's pretty close to it already. And we're going to get Al some lessons, so maybe the next time you see us, he'll do a little better. We pumped him full of chocolate milk this morning to try to loosen his fingers up a little bit, and it looked like it worked. So, how many in the congregation did you ever see Jeff's daddy, Sam, and the Jubilators? Anybody ever see them over the years gone? Okay. I think what was the guy's name last night? Earthquake. Used to actually play with them. The New Horizons, okay. Jeff's daddy used to do one. Jim Reeves, I think, was the first one that did it years and years ago. But it's an old song about a conversation with the Lord. It's called The Farmer and the Lord. And I don't think anybody I've ever heard do it over the years does any better than Brother Jeff does. So listen to Brother Jeff as he does this for you, The Farmer and the Lord.
While resting one evening beside an old dusty road, I saw an old farmer in a field that he'd just hoed. His face was all brown and wrinkled by the wind, and he was talking to the Lord just like he was talking to a friend. "Well, sir," he said in a voice calm and quiet, "them corn tassels need a sacking, but I've got no string to tie 'em. We ain't had no rain in so long that the fields are mighty dusty, and it's been so unbearably hot that the kids are even getting fussy. Now that grass down in the pasture should be knee high, and if we could just have a little shower, Lord, well, it might keep that old cow from a going dry." Ah, but listen to me a talking. You'd think I wasn't grateful. Why, if you didn't know me so well, Lord, you'd think I was plumb downright hateful. You'd think I forgot about the new calf that you sent, and the money in the mail that took care of that old rent. Ma's cold's better. Johnny's home from the Navy. And there's that good Sunday dinner. Chicken, dumplings, and gravy. And that new preacher you sent us, Lord, he sure is a fine young man. Why, he's been converting them sinners just to beat the band. Well, I guess I'll mosey on home, Lord, and won't take up no more of your time. I reckon there's a heap of folks hereabouts just waiting to ring your line. So evening to you, Lord. Watch over us tonight. But don't you worry about us none, Lord, because everything's gonna be all right. I'll cast on him my every care and wait for thee, sweet hour of prayer.
Al, go to the building, my man. Just kidding. You don't have it open on your list? Yeah, pardon us while we just have a little conversation amongst ourselves. Here's one that I'm sure a lot of you probably know. I have no castles, no earthly kingdom, but my cabin will do until I get home. My mansion's yonder on the hills of glory. Oh, I hope my mansion sits near the throne. So build my mansion next door to Jesus and tell the angels that I'm coming home. It doesn't matter who lives around me, just so my mansion sits near the throne. Now my mother's mansion, it may be close by me, across the golden avenue. You see, she was the first one to teach me about heaven, and the very first one, Lord, to tell me about you. So build my mansion next door to Jesus and tell the angels I'm just so my mansion sits near the throne. Just so my mansion sits near the throne. God's throne.
That'll do it.
How many, last night we asked this question because standing in the back and hearing you guys sing, you hear a lot of bass voices, and it's fabulous. How many of you, I'm going to ask it again today, how many of you are bass singers that are here? Okay. So we're going to do an old standard. We have to do it a little bit differently because of the three of us, but the bass singers, if you got it, let's hear it. Okay, just a little talk with Jesus. I once was lost in sin, but Jesus took me in and filled a little light from heaven, filled my soul. Well, he breaks my heart in love, and he wrote my name above. And just a little talk with Jesus made me whole. Now let us have a little talk with Jesus. Let us tell him all about our trouble. He will hear our faintest cry, and he will answer by and by. Now when you feel a little prayer wheel turning, then you'll know a little fire is burning. You will find a little talk with Jesus makes it right. Now I may have doubts and fears, my eyes be filled with tears, but my Jesus is a friend who watches day and night. And I go to him in prayer. He knows my every care. And just a little talk with Jesus makes it right. Now let us have a little talk with Jesus. Let us tell him all about our trouble. He will hear our faintest cry, and he will answer by and by. Now when you feel a little prayer wheel turning, then you'll know a little fire is burning. You will find a little talk with Jesus makes it right. Now let us have a little talk with Jesus. Let us tell him all about our trouble. He will hear our faintest cry, and he will answer by and by. Now when you feel a little prayer wheel turning, then you'll know a little fire is burning. You will find a little talk with Jesus makes it right. Yes, you will find a little talk with Jesus makes it right. I think it would be easy to look around the room or poll or survey the room and ask each of you, whether collectively or individually, how many times, and can you even count the times that you've experienced a touch from the Lord, something supernatural in your life or something in your family, or how you've prayed over loved ones and watched the Lord come through in time, on time, every time. We're going to sing an old song, He Touched Me. I'm sure that over the years, It's one that you've hummed, you've sang, but I want you to know that it's not just mere words on a page. It's not just a collection of sentences or what have you. But the mere fact that I can stand today, and even in the midst of sometimes what I go through today, I recognize that the reason I can still stand right here and do what I do is very simply because of this touch with the Lord. Because if I didn't have that touch in my life, I don't have any idea where I'd be, what this would be doing to me. And I recognize that. And I want to encourage you today that if you're walking through something, whether you're keeping it to yourself or somebody else is praying with you about it, remember what the touch of the Lord is like and the changes that can happen in your life simply by that touch from above. He touched me. Shackled by a heavy burden, beneath a load of guilt and shame. Then the hand of Jesus touched me, and now I'm no longer the same. He touched me. Oh, he touched me. I know the joy that floods my soul. Something happened, and now I know he touched me and made me whole. Since I met this blessed Savior, and since he cleansed and made me whole, I will never cease to praise him, but I'll shout it while eternity rolls. He touched me. Oh, he touched me. I know the joy that floods my soul. Something happened, and now I know he touched me and made me whole. Something wonderful happened, and now I know he touched me. He touched me. He touched me and made me whole. How many know that song?
Yes.
He touched me. Sing with us. Oh,
Oh, man.
Floods my soul.
One more time. He touched.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm sure a pastor can appreciate this, but you know, sometimes when we minister like this, I find myself in situations where I just don't even know what to do next. When I feel like the presence of the Lord just kind of shows up, I don't know what to do next. You ever been there? Hey, well, I'll put it to you like this. It's kind of like when my wife says I'm right. I don't know what to do next. I call buddies of mine, dude, my wife just said I was right. Now what do I do?
That's like the dog that chases a car and catches it. Once he catches it, he doesn't know what to do.
Did you throw him peanuts? No. Okay.
I thought that'd be synonymous.
Honestly, sometimes when the presence of the Lord shows up when we do this, I just sometimes, honestly, what just happened right there, I could have put this mic down and I could have went home and said, it's been good to be in the house of the Lord. And I don't know what you got, but I got mine. And I hope, if nothing else today, that's something we said, maybe that song, whatever else. When you go out these doors today, I hope you see something completely different in your life than you saw when you came in this way. I hope your scenery changes and that the touch of the Lord rests on your life as you leave here. And I hope that this next song also, I hope He keeps you singing.
There's within my heart a melody. Jesus whispers sweet and low. Fear not, I am with thee. Peace be still in all of life's ebb and flow. Jesus, 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 sweetest name I know. He fills my every longing, keeps me singing as I go.
Feasting on the riches of His grace, resting neath the sheltering wing, always looking on His smiling face. That is why I shout and sing.
Jesus, 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 sweetest name I know. Fills my every longing, keeps me singing as I go.
Now soon He's coming back to welcome me, far beyond the starry sky. I shall wing my flight to worlds unknown. I shall reign with Him on high.
Jesus, 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 sweetest name I know. Fills my every longing, keeps me singing as I go. Jesus, 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 sweetest name I know. It fills my every longing, keeps me singing as I go. Well, He fills my every longing, keeps me singing as I go. Keeps me singing as I go. Keeps me singing as I go.
So we're going to wrap things up with this final song. One of the things that we have vowed to do as a group is that we never depart from ministry. We don't call these concerts. It's just, we just don't like to call it concerts because it's not a show. We call these ministry events because that's what we do. We don't put on shows. We don't put on concerts. And we vowed as a group early on that our motto would be ministry uncompromised. That we're not going to change something. We're not going to be somebody because somebody expects us to be somebody. We're going to minister in the way that the Lord lays it on our heart and the way the Lord leads us to do so. And we're not altering that because somebody doesn't approve of it. As long as we're in the center of God's will for our lives as men and as a group, that's how we intend to do it. But we've also said that we will never leave a service without offering somebody an opportunity to be introduced to the Lord. It doesn't matter where we sing. It doesn't matter what denomination we sing in. We'll not ever leave without giving somebody that opportunity. We're not going to ask you to raise your hand. We're not asking you to come down front. Nothing of the sort. Because we won't embarrass you. I remember as a child growing up when they would do that, I was like, I'm not going down there. I'm not still raising my hand. I got saved a couple hundred times, I think, when I was a kid. Every church camp, guaranteed, every church camp I got saved every year at church camp. But I never, we don't do that. All I ask you is that if you give your heart to the Lord today under our ministry, I only ask you that at some point before you leave, give me the pleasure of letting me know that, so that we can pray for you, that your walk with the Lord would be one to be admired and one that was solid, and that you recognize what the hand of God does in your life. So while we sing this next song, I want you to think about where your life is today and whether or not you just need a fresh touch. And think about this place that we call heaven. I don't know about you, but I want to go. I got a mama and daddy there. Many friends have passed and gone to heaven, as I'm sure many of you have as well. My little sister says, I want to go to heaven just so I can verify that I actually made it. She thinks the process for me getting into heaven is going to be a little bit more difficult. Like I may have some more questions to answer than everybody else has. But that's okay. As we sing this last song, think about where you are today, and what do you think heaven's going to be like when you get there? We read of a place that's called heaven. It's made for the pure and the free. These truths in God's word we are given. How beautiful heaven must be. How beautiful heaven must be. Sweet home of the happy and free. Fair haven of rest for the weary. There's no drooping nor pining. There's no wishing for elsewhere to be. God's light is forever there shining. Oh, how beautiful heaven must be. How beautiful heaven must be. Sweet home of the happy and free. Fair haven of rest for the weary. How beautiful heaven must be. Oh, fair haven of rest for the weary. How beautiful heaven must be.
Well, I could definitely say it's been good to be here today. We want to thank Calvary's Mercy for coming and sharing your ministry here with us today. I want to give you a chance now, if there's a testimony you would like to share. We have the cordless mics available. If you have a testimony you'd like to share, something that God's doing in your life, we'd like to give you that opportunity to share that at this time. Just raise your hand. They'll bring you a mic.